Hey everyone, I'm out here on my morning walk. I went for a leisurely stroll this morning. After last night and this morning, I've gone through all the stages of grief because I recorded a 40-minute review of this episode last night, lost the audio. Well, I didn't lose it. I actually just forgot to record the audio because I'm a dumbass. So I was very upset about that. Then I'm like, oh, it's fine. We don't have to do a review, whatever. We'll talk about it on the podcast. That'll be great. But then the thought came to my brain, oh my God, there's going to be goddamn 5 or 6 Obi-Wan videos, whatever there is now on the channel, and they're not going to be finished. There's just going to be, I can't do that. I can't not post the final review, so Jesus, I was like, oh my God, I've got to do something. So anyway, I've decided to come out here and record a voice memo while I'm on the golf course. I hope golfers don't come along, and I hope the audio isn't too terrible, but I'll try and make this one very condensed for the sake of that. And also, I think I'm just going to put the video from what I recorded last night that no one can hear. I'm just going to put that over this. So just pretend that what I just explained isn't happening. And please pretend that, the words I'm saying right now, the audio are coming out of past me's mouth. Just pretend that for me, would you? That'd be amazing. If any golfers come along, we have to run. So that might create more audio issues. But anyway, all right. Part 6 of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Let me know your thoughts, please, in the comments. Let me know. I'm excited. The show's over. We can all sit with it now. Please, leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of it. Give it a rating out of 10. I want to have a chat with you in the comments. I think that'd be fun because I usually leave that to the end of the videos. I forget to say it at the start. So that'd be great. Please do that. And subscribe to Cinema Effect. Listen to the podcast, all that stuff. Anyway, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Part 6. I thought it was a really good episode. Really enjoyed it. Overall, I think it stayed consistent with the quality of the rest of the show. I think the show overall has been very consistent in its quality in terms of its pros and cons, the performances, the character stuff, some really strong story moments and ideas. All of that stayed true throughout the season and throughout episode 6 as well. And then, the same sort of faults, some weird direction stuff, some weird editing stuff, some lackluster looking visuals, that sort of stuff, So that very much stayed true throughout this episode as well. But I thought it was a strong series finale. And just overall, to sort of get some final thoughts out there, I think that I'd give the show a 7 out of 10. And I'm happy with it. I think there are some things that really do hold it back from being truly great or from being high tier Star Wars. But overall, I'm happy with its place. I think for me, it's sort of really, this is a hard comparison because, everyone's got different Star Wars rankings. So this probably doesn't mean a lot to anyone else. But for me, sort of in my sort of tier list of Star Wars, this sort of sits alongside The Last Jedi and Return of the Jedi for me, which are two movies that, two movies that I really enjoy, add a lot to Star Wars. I think have fantastic elements, but some stuff in them I don't love, and sort of, overall I enjoy them. I think they absolutely have a great place in Star Wars, but they're not my favourite thing in Star Wars. And I think that's very much where I land with this show at the moment, to sort of summarise that way. My biggest issue with the episode overall is just the pacing and the overall it really felt rushed, and it's especially frustrating considering, how we've used some of our time in previous episodes. It's frustrating overall in all Disney Plus shows that they just don't seem to use their runtimes effectively, and the fact that the episodes are so short is still frustrating. I don't understand why all these Disney Plus shows are like that. We just need a bit more time to flesh some of this stuff out. And I think the perfect example of that is what gave me Game of Thrones Season 8 vibes in this episode was the whole Reva thing. And I liked aspects of it, but my God, they really just jammed that in because we start the episode and somehow Reva's already on Tatooine, even though, from Obi-Wan's perspective, she was just stabbed and left for dead on Jabim 10 minutes ago. And then somehow in the time you'd think that Obi-Wan takes to leave Jabim, fight Vader, you sort of get the sense that takes about 2 hours. And then in that time, somehow Reva, mortally wounded Reva, somehow finds the way to goddamn, escape the planet, get to Tatooine, spend a day looking for Owen and their farmstead, attack at night. Somehow all of that has enough time to play out. I don't know how goddamn space-time works. Maybe it's some interstellar rules where something happens there. I don't know. It was incredibly rushed and jammed in, and I was really enjoying the Obi-Wan Vader stuff. And I was enjoying, like, I love Joel Edgerton and everything with Uncle Owen and Baby Luke. Like, it was all good stuff, but it just felt so like, shit, we've just got to get this done. Let's just do it all now. It really felt rushed in that respect. And in that way, I would have much preferred, I think, if the story had a bit more time to breathe. And if, for example, you'd given a lot more focus to the Obi-Wan Vader conflict. Say, for example, you do something where you have them fight in episode 5, right? You have that final climax with them that we got in episode 5, which was an awesome climax. You have that there. And then you sort of have episode 6 be sort of the resolution episode, have it sort of feel more like an epilogue where, we have the stuff where Obi-Wan goes back to Alderaan and Obi-Wan goes back to Tatooine, and then Reva turns up to the homestead, right? And it's sort of this like final altercation, this final like loose end of the show that Reva then turns back up like a few weeks later, and then you have to deal with that stuff. And you can still have it all play out the same way. I don't know, I just really feel like it needed a bit more time overall. And so outside of that, stuff feeling rushed, and outside of, some shots in this episode looking pretty bad throughout the whole show. I mean, that shot, dude, of freaking Vader sitting on his throne, to me looks like the background looks like a PS3 game to me. Like, it looks really bad. But anyway, that's been the whole thing throughout the whole show. Going full positives now. First of all, goddamn, Anakin Obi-Wan fight was awesome. I love the story direction of that now that we have the whole story of this entire show. I love the direction that now it's like, we can see what this journey has been for Obi-Wan. It's been, learning that Anakin is alive. He's been dealing with that regret for years. Learning that he's alive, he then, in episode 3, it feels a lot more consistent now that in episode 3, he can't face Vader, he's scared of him. But then at the start of this episode, he's like, dude, I know what I have to do now. I have to face Darth Vader. I have to face Anakin. And that's awesome. And their freaking fight, they go down there, they have some awesome dialogue. Obi-Wan's like, oh God, that's a loud car. Oh no. Obi-Wan's like, what does he say? He's like, I will do what I must. And then, so they repeat their lines from episode 3, which is awesome. He does the cool little pose with his 2-finger point. I love. They have a pretty damn cool fight. I don't know if it's like an S-tier Star Wars fight by any means for me. I don't think it's a top-tier Star Wars lightsaber duel. But overall, I was very happy with it. I think it's probably the best version of the fight that we could have conceived and hoped for, just given the quality of the visuals on this show. So I was happy with it overall. I thought the choreography was really good. They have an awesome damn fight. They throw rocks and shit. It was dope. But my God, it was the moment when Obi-Wan freaking cuts over Vader's helmet. And that was the thing, dude. That was awesome. And I know it's literally a moment that they have already done in another Star Wars show recently. Like, it's the exact same moment. They just ripped from it. But hey, not everyone watches the animated stuff. I'm down with it. I'm fine with it. If more people get to experience that as a story beat, it's a really powerful one, and it's a great visual, and it's awesome. It was really well done to see Hayden there. Hayden delivered a killer performance. It was great to see his voice, Hayden and James's voice combining, so you sort of directly see the effects that James L. Jones's voice has in overpowering Anakin's voice. In the suit modulation, that was really, really clever. And it's also, symbolic of how the Darth Vader persona continues to overshadow Anakin Skywalker and try and kill him. Like, I think that's all, it was geniusly well done. It was a terrific scene. Ewan in the scene was phenomenal. Him crying was terrific. And that, that was finally that completion of that arc, that moment where Ewan finally was like, he was upset. This was his final reach out to confront Anakin and face Anakin, and Vader's like, bro, Anakin Skywalker is dead. I killed him, And in that moment, that was the whole Obi-Wan once thought as you did thing from Return of the Jedi, right? Like, that was that moment where Obi-Wan, I hope that's not too loud. That was that one moment where Obi-Wan was like, this was my final attempt to reach out. To see that, to acknowledge that Anakin is still in there somewhere and to do something about that. And then Anakin shuts him down, turns away. And in that moment where Obi-Wan's like, goodbye, Darth. It was like so cool. It was like, it really made a lot of sense as to, it adds a lot to why he calls him Darth in A New Hope. And it's just condescending as hell. It's awesome. It's like, well, all right, Anakin, if you tell me this and apparently just call yourself Vader now. All right, I'll see you, Darth, you dickhead. It was really powerful. I thought that was all really good. God, dude. And then the stuff with Reva, like, it was good. I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was, again, rushed. I also don't really understand her motivations. I don't understand how she knew that Luke was Anakin's kid. That was kind of weird. I feel like that needed more time. I needed to understand exactly why she felt that killing Anakin, that going after Luke was going to why she wanted to do that in the first place. Kind of weird. I don't know. Again, rushed. But overall, they did the redemption thing with Reva. Not something I necessarily would have done, but they did it, and they did it in the best way possible, in my opinion, where, thank God they didn't have her at the end, like, ignite a blue lightsaber and team up with Obi-Wan to take down Vader or some shit like that. Like, that would have been painful. So, instead, they went the route of, like, this person has pushed themselves to the limit of hate and revenge, and then she just breaks down, and she's like, I don't want to be this person anymore. I've become, what I swore to destroy, in Obi-Wan's words. I've become the dark side. I've become what I hate, and just her breaking down and then sort of seeking solace in Obi-Wan in that moment. I thought that was all really good. So I think that's a great direction, and I assume she'll pop up in more things in the future as well. Obi-Wan saying hello there was awesome. Of course, it was great. It didn't feel jarring to me at all. I thought it was awesome. Like, him saying it to Luke felt powerful. I liked it a lot. And he did the Alec Guinness version of it too. It was great. All right. And then the last thing, Qui-Gon Jinn, dude. My boy Qui-Gon Jinn finally goddamn shows up. This is one of those things where I sort of had conflicting feelings about it at first, because it is so brief. He says it has like 2 lines, and he shows up right at the end. And I don't know, like, on one hand, that's not how I would have done it. If I would have written this show and written that scene, I would have had it where, sort of the more logical thing that I've seen other people talk about too, I would have written the Qui-Gon's involvement in the show where you have him sort of turn up and comfort Obi-Wan and give him support in like episode 4 or 5 when Obi-Wan's at his darkest moment, and then Obi-Wan uses his master's guidance to sort of, spring back up. And I would have written it like that. But, if I had written this show, no doubt I'd be criticised, because anyone who writes this show would have been criticised. But the criticisms that would have been levied at me, number one, would have been, Zach, your dialogue's terrible, in which case I'd say, yeah, it definitely would be. And the second criticism would be, Zach, bro, why does Qui-Gon just conveniently help Obi-Wan in episode 4 when he wouldn't answer him earlier? And so that I'd say, also good point. So, I feel like there's sort of iffy things about it, whatever way you choose to approach it. This way was consistent, Qui-Gon appearing and finally being able to chat with Obi-Wan. That is the training that Obi-Wan had to undergo. In Revenge of the Sith, that's what Yoda says, that is the training that Obi-Wan had to undergo. This journey of this show, confronting his past, that's the reward. Qui-Gon is the reward for doing all that and doing that successfully, reconnecting with the cosmic force, all that sort of shit. So, like, that was dope. Like, I thought I liked that aspect of it. I thought it served Obi-Wan's character, the fact that, his arc in the show has been really good, and he has become, he's well on the road to becoming a New Hope. And I like that the ending essentially sort of felt like I hope it doesn't set up a season 2, but it felt like to me like a happy ever after moment for Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. They get to hang out now until A New Hope. So I really liked that aspect of it. I don't know, like, the only thing that I like all that about it, and it's also cool that Obi-Wan basically did it all on his own, right? Like, yeah, he was able to reconnect with the Force and, become the Zen Master and complete his arc all by himself. And that's cool too. But the only thing I dislike about it, and that's what I'm just struggling with, is the fact that, dude, all I want more than anything, and I want more conversations and longer run times throughout this whole show. That's been a recurring theme. But more than anything, dude, all I want in this goddamn show, all I wanted was a 2 to 3 minute conversation with Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, right? Like, I want them to have a chat. I want them to sit down and comfort each other and talk about Vader, talk about their past, talk about what happened to the Jedi, talk about how their current mindset and all that sort of stuff, and just connect. I want that conversation so bad, and that's my only issue with it, is that while I like Qui-Gon's role in the story, it's just I sort of wish it just continued. There is a golfer coming, so I'm just going to slowly walk over here and hope he doesn't hit me. Oh my lord! So that's my main issue with it, really, at the moment. It's just that I just want a conversation between Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon so bad, and at this point, I don't really see how we're going to get that. Unless they do a season 2, but I just hope they don't. I don't know. That would feel sort of jarring. I don't know how much character growth there is left for Obi-Wan to undergo at this point. He's sort of done it. He's sort of achieved his journey here. So, I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up because now I have to walk. It's probably going to make the audio sound way worse. So, all right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks so much. Leave a comment down below. Thanks for tuning into these reviews as well every week. They've been a lot of fun. I hope this one didn't suck too much. Hopefully we can add this to Cinema Effect lore, have it be a bit of fun down the road. But I'm looking forward to talking about Obi-Wan, rewatching it in the future. And had a good time with it week to week. So thanks, everyone. All right. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.